been almost a year now since I got this little guy here with the intention of using it as a daily vlog camera. However, I actually ended up using for more than that just intended purpose. So today I will go through with you the few things I like about this camera and a few things I don't like about it. Well, I wish it could have done better. So the first thing I would talk about is its size, which is the primary reason I got it in the first place, because I didn't want to always lug around my camera everywhere to do vlogs. And also because it's very awkward. Yeah, I'm still a little bit shy walking around with a giant camera, whereas this makes it a little bit more comfortable because a lot of time people have no idea what you're doing with it. It comes with a nice little protective case that protects the gimbal and the body itself if you don't have the extra do-it-all handle involved. Inside can also hold one extra filter. The small size along with the 1/4 inch mount on the bottom allows me to mount it in very different interesting location. So I actually use this for unboxing videos, mounting it above vertically because of the lightweight. You can mount it in very strange location. So the second thing I would talk about is actually image quality. The fact that you can record 4K in such a small package, stabilize physically on the gimbal, is pretty mind-blowing. So I normally shoot in 4K in Pro mode. So Pro mode allows a more higher bit rate. I think other channels can explain that aspect a little better than I can. But basically it allows me to control the ISO, the exposure, white balance, and also allows me to shoot in a log flat profile. That makes grading a little bit more easier for me to match with other cameras later on in post-production. However, Pro mode does drain the battery a little bit more faster than non-Pro mode, so you have to keep that in mind. Image quality wise, in the small camera, it's very good for just overall scenery, or your everyday vlog will be more than enough. You're not gonna get crazy cinematic with all the beautiful bokeh and blurry background and out of focus, but it actually does a very good job video wise, and it's very easy to use for most people also. However, low light capabilities, not the best. This camera with its sensor size does require a little bit more light than normal, so your scene needs to be properly lit up and exposed if you want to shoot, unless you're okay with a lot of noise inside of your final image, which then it does the job pretty well too. So in the creator combo kit I purchased, it came with the do-it-all handle, various USB stuff which I've lost, the wide angle lens which I've also lost, the tripod which I've also lost. However, there's one thing that I did not lose, which is one of the best thing that came with the creator's kit, is actually the wireless lav mic, which is what you're hearing right now. So for me, I've been using this actually as a wireless mic for all of my interviews lately, because I just simply can't afford a wireless Go from Rode right now, because that's $200 and this is $500. So literally almost a third of the price is this wireless microphone, which for me has been ridiculously helpful. The range is great. The sound is fairly acceptable for what it is. You can always connect extra lavalier mic, or you can just clip on like what I have right here. So yeah, I've actually just been recording it a lot of all my interviews lately wirelessly, and then syncing it in post with the primary shotgun mic I have. Another thing I forgot to mention is did not come with the creator's kit are ND filters. So for me, this is an absolute necessity of an accessory, which everyone who owns one of these should get a set of ND filters. Because before I bought this, there was a few times where it was just like crazy overexposed outside. So having this really helps. If you do any sorts of video recording, you know having an ND filter is an absolute must. So make sure you pick up one of these. The wide variety of shooting mode that comes with the camera is also very cool. I personally use the hyperlapse option a lot for both passing time, traveling around. The other options I haven't used at all really, like Pano and HDR. I mean, normally I have a ND filter on it so I can get the proper exposure when it's bright out. It also has slow-mo, but it's only 1080p. So if I really need slow-mo, I can always just shoot it in 2.7K, 60 frames per second, slow it down a little bit. If I really need 120 frames per second, then I'll just use my larger mirrorless camera. So for battery life, it actually lasts a good amount of time. If I'm shooting pro mode all day, it'll last me up to the whole day of vlogging. However, charging is very easy because it's USB-C capable. I always personally travel around with a giant battery pack to charge all of my accessories, so the fact that it's very easily chargeable by USB-C, I've never really found battery life too much of an issue. The recharging time from my portable battery or my laptop takes about an hour to get back up to 80%, and then you're ready to go again. So through all these great options that comes with the camera, there are a few things I wish it had done better. So one thing is I wish there was a way to shoot in log profile in more video mode. So one of the main one that you can't do right now is 4K 60. You cannot do the log profile, and for me is that I cannot shoot log profile in time lapse. So I said earlier that I use hyperlapse a lot for moving and also stationary, simply because hyperlapse in 4K allows me to shoot log mode, but time-lapse does not. Why? I have no idea. It's just strange to not include that. I'm sure they have their reason. So the second thing I wish it did better is actually a better way to attach the filter. I would prefer if it was similar to my Mavic Air, where it has a locking mechanism to stay on there, because the magnetic way that this filter attaches on can slide off easily. So I mentioned earlier I actually lost my wide angle lens because I was hiking in the woods, and somewhere along the way the camera brushed against a branch and just gone, disappeared forever, never seen again. But it's a good thing that this camera is wide enough for you to still do vlog just fine without it. Now I know this is not an action cam, but I wish there was another mounting point besides just the bottom. I wish there was one on the back, so at least I can get extra accessories so I can mount it on my backpack or my chest when I'm hiking or running. I don't always want to have multiple cameras for multiple different purposes all the time. That would just completely defeat the purpose of me getting this in the first place, which is to keep things simple when I don't need my large camera. So definitely extra mounting point, specifically on the back. Last thing is actually the heat. So shooting in pro mode, after like 10 minutes in certain condition, it gets very hot. So I've not reached the point where it's a shutdown on me just yet. I hope in the next version they improve upon the heat dissipation capability of this camera. So overall, I'm very happy with this, even though I end up not using it so much for vlog, but for more of behind the scene and recording time lapse and random things throughout my day. But I definitely always have it in my backpack because it's just so easily to carry around, or I also use it to record stuff when I don't want people to notice I'm recording them. Yes, I highly recommend this. If you want to get into vlogging and you're like me, who's too poor to get a new iPhone, the camera on here works great, and you can also record a wide variety of other video type besides just vlogging. Just keep in mind, this is not an action camera. This gimbal is sensitive. It doesn't like to be dropped. I've never dropped this. I don't think you should either. I don't want to try it. So majority of the time though, this is always in my bag. Just record random clips, doing time lapse, catching sunset. Because it's so mobile and so lightweight, I just always have it with me. So you never know when you have that cool moment. Oh, let's just get a cool intersection here. Oh, there's a great sunrise here. Or oh, there's lightning cloud. And you just have to wait and just let it go. This is a great option. It's just to have around all the time. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative to make your decision if you want to buy this or not. If they release a new one next year or so, I might actually just get a new one because I actually really like having this around. Anyways, subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more gear reviews from various stuff I bought over the past year. None of this is ever sponsored anyway. I don't think I'm gonna get that far in my YouTube career. However, thank you for watching. See you soon. So I'm actually trying to change up the lighting condition in here to see what works and what not. As you can see, now it's just nice warm lighting in the back and not so much of that blue and teal and red colorways that many other YouTubers are using, which I'm kind of okay with. Anyways, let me know what you think of this new setup. Maybe I'll go back to it, the other one. I don't know. We'll see.